Eyup cock. It's the big one. We're going to predict all playoff games in Championship League 1 and League 2, which is Sheffield United, Sunderland, Coventry and Bristol City in Championship, Stockport, Charlton, Wickham and Leighton Orient in League 1, and Warsaw, Wimbledon, Knox County and Chesterfield in League 2. These are all games that I'm going to do watch-alongs for. Any that's highlighted, I'm going to be live in here like 10 minutes before it kicks off. Get it wrote down in the diary. Championship first, and first game of the playoffs, it's Bristol City versus Sheffield United. And now you want to play at home, it's second leg, don't you? You know, in case you go to extra time and home advantage, you're getting fans spurred on and stuff like that. But I think this, the schedule in this game and Bristol City being at home first, benefits Bristol City. Because I think the only chance of realistically going through here is if they get a win at home. Now, Sheffield United away are very good. They've been second best in the league all year. They've got 43 points. They've only lost 6 times. But 3 of them losses have come in the last 4 games. The games are close though. 1-0 to Oxford, then 2-1 against Plymouth and 2-1 against Burnley. So they're not getting ran through, do you know what I mean? They're not getting a train ran on them. But they're still losing the games recently, Sheffield United away from home. Whereas Bristol City at home, similar to Sheffield United, top notch. 4th best in division and 3rd best in division, these two. Sheffield United have got 90 points. 90. It's one of the only times in history that a team has finished on 90 points and not gone up automatically. Leeds did it last year as well. And to the core, Sheffield United are a good side. They've got 90 points. They've not got it for a joke. They've been top 3 all season. They've only tailed off towards back end of season, which we're worrying for a little bit that they've tailed off at the wrong time. But they've got 90 points for a reason. They're a very good side. And I do think it can be won and lost in first game at Bristol City. Because Bristol City are not going to go to Sheffield United and win. Let's keep it real. Sheffield United are not going to lose at home to Bristol City. I'm fairly confident on that, which ain't good. And if Sheffield United can get a draw in first game at Bristol City, I think they'll go through. Because neither of them are in blistering form, realistically. Bristol City have won, what, 1 in 5. Sheffield United have won 2 in 5. Nobody in playoffs in Championship is going in on good form. Like, we'll look at Sunderland and Coventry after this. But nobody's coming into this, like, flames coming off the back, shit hot, either. But again, that makes me think that this is Sheffield United's to lose. They've got 90 points. They're 14 points better off than Sunderland, who finished 4th. If there's nobody coming in on really good form, that like momentum's a hell of a drug in it. But there's nobody coming in loads and loads of momentum, which makes me think best side in this is favourite. But they've got a honking record in playoffs, haven't they? Sheffield United have been in it 8 times and they've lost them all. But they are 3rd best side in this division by a mile. They've got best starting 11 out of all these 4 sides by a mile. And the only thing I've got to beat them with Sheffield United here is history. And the fact that I don't like them. Because I don't actually think Sheffield United are particularly good at anything. I'm going to put it out there. The majority of times that I've watched Sheffield United this season, I thought they've played crap and won. Especially earlier in its season. And that has caught up with them as it's gone on. And eventually, the 2 best sides in the division that are most consistent performance-wise have gone up autos. I think throughout the team, Sheffield United are quite an even level. Obviously, Cooper's going to be in sticks. But you think that's more than likely going to be the back 4. Maybe Burrows goes in here. But going forward, you'd imagine that might be the midfield partnership and that might be the front 4 as well. I don't think there's any humongous standout in this team, whereas there is in some other ones. Apart from Hamer, who is one of the best players in the league, I don't... But even then, I don't think he's been pulling trees up as much recently. But I do fancy him in this. I cannot lie. I do fancy him against Bristol City. I think Bristol City have got to come into this with loads and loads of energy to have even a remote chance, really. They're one of the best pressing sides in division. I think the 3rd best in terms of winning ball Eyup. And I do think they'll definitely score at home, Bristol City. But I think he can get down the flanks a little bit too easily. And going back to it, I think if Brooks starts, could be won on lost out flanks. And I think if Brooks is to start, if Wilder does start him, I think he could have a big say in who gets to Wembley. For a player that Sheffield United fans and neutrals won't look at and think, oh yeah, he's definitely one of the best. I think it could be won and lost down his side. Fast is direct, he can get him behind. And I think that's weak point for Bristol City is the fullbacks personally. But I'm going to go back to it again. Sheffield United finished 22 points in front of Bristol City. They've got a lot of players, Sheffield United, with a lot of experience in Premier League, promotions, Wilder, knows club, all that. And I could see Bristol City shitting the pants a little bit, especially in second leg at Bramall Lane. I think they might wet the pants a little bit. I will go 1-1 in first leg at Bristol City, and then I think Sheffield United win 2-1 in second leg, which means Sheffield United go through and they're at Wembley. Don't get me wrong, I want it to be a new side. I want it to be Bristol City. They've not been in Premier League ever. I would love to see somebody like that, a proper lower league team, go up. But they've got nobody in and around club, really, that's been and done it before. Sheffield United have got a lot of that. And I think experience and know-how is what can get you over the line a lot of time. So I will go Sheffield United at Wembley and Bristol City are out. And they're going to be playing either Sunderland or Coventry. Now, this top 3 of Leeds, Burnley and Sheffield United pulled away months ago. Like, no one were catching him, and Sunderland have just been, like, awkwardly trotting on behind him, yay, in 4th all year. And it's been a very good year for him. Because I don't think anybody realistically had Sunderland this high. They're doing a lot better than what I thought they would. They've got a lot of young lads, a lot of academy boys. But I do also think that's what could potentially kill them. They're coming into this 5 losses in a row. They've not won a game in 6, which I don't completely blame on players either. I think it's naivety from both player and manager. They've been chopping and changing their 11 so much in games leading up to playoffs, which it's Labry's first year in England. It's Labry's first taster at playoffs. So I cut him some slack there. But momentum is one hell of a drug in football, and Sunderland are 2 months sober. They've been shite for weeks. Players are just dossing it off. They're not running extra yard. They're not putting it in because they've known since the loss to Leeds months ago that they're going to finish 4th regardless of what they do. So they can trot along, picking up a point here and there. But the lack of momentum, partnered with clear lack of effort, and it looks like their identity is just completely gone out at window, especially in the last game against QPR, which undertaught, which is really important, I think, the loss to them. I just don't see how they go into this with any sort of hope, really. Players or fans, anybody. I don't know how they can go into this thinking, we've got a chance here when you've lost 5 games in a row leading into playoffs. They've got 4 wins in 13 games. And I can almost forgive the form that they're on if they'd have turned up on last day against QPR, which they just didn't. QPR have got no manager because Cifuentes is on gardening leave. They've got nothing to play for. Probably half of this team know that they're not going to be at QPR next season anyway. A lot of them are loans or out of contract. They're not going to be here next season. And they're putting bodies online and look like they die for badge against a Sunderland side who didn't really lay a glove on them. Yeah, they had more expected goals, but 5 shots on target all game against a side that's got no to play for when you want to lay a marker down going into playoffs is shit. And they put out Sunderland what is probably going to be the best 11. I would imagine this is going to be exact lineup going into playoffs. Maybe Isidore starts instead of Meander, but Isidore's not scored since February, so psychologically I think players might be shot realistically at Sunderland. And you know, it's the man of the team that they're going up against as well. Like, even if you strip it completely back and stop talking about Sunderland and the negatives of that, when you look at the matchups of Sunderland and what they're going to play in certain positions, I think Sunderland could get absolutely battered, honestly. Strip it back to its core with football in this country. What is English football about? It's about putting crosses into the box and winning headers and being big and physical and strong. And you look at the Coventry midfielders, right? Ben Sheaf and Rodoni, combined height 15'9" versus Neil, Bellingham, Rigg and Leffy. Number 1, bunch of kids. Number 2, Leffy's about 5'2". The height difference, we're looking at little and large going up against each other in playoffs. We've got big Cook, little Cook. Part of that way manager that Coventry have got now, who specialises realistically in stripping it back and keeping football quite simple. I think this is going to suit Coventry to ground this. Like tactical mastermind Sunderland that have got in Labrie versus keep it simple, shoot on sight, crosses into the box, big and hard Coventry, Frank Lampard. This is only going one way. This is boys against men, honestly. All 4 of Sunderland midfielders are small or young. Rodoni and Ben Sheaf, massive lads, good in air, physical. 5-footer and just legs. Plus, if it goes to set pieces, you've got Kitch, Thomas, Hadji Wright. Big team, big physical team all over the pitch. And I don't think it's going to be a case of there's going to be loads and loads of quality on show with Sunderland and Coventry. Because yes, Sunderland's form's really bad. We've spoke about that. They've lost 5 in a row. But Coventry aren't in really good form either. They've won 2 in the last 5. They've got 5 losses in the last 10 games. They're typically quite crap against better sides in division, like Leeds, Burnley, Sheffield United, them types. It's a good job Sunderland aren't a good side anymore. But I fancy Coventry big time. Just based on form. I said this weeks ago. Sunderland, you cannot afford to go into playoffs on crap form. You can use Southampton as an example if you want to from last season, but they've got 10 more points than you've got now, and they're a Premier League squad. Sunderland squad is not a Premier League quality. It's very young and small and quite weak with looking at sides at lads that you're going up against. I fancy Coventry big time. A lot of people probably have got same championship final, I would think. I will go Coventry 4-1 at home and 1-1 away. I can see Coventry being quite comfy again to Wembley. And we'll do finals and winners at end. I just want to get on my sides at Wembley first. And the first 2 for Championship is Sheffield United and Coventry. League 1 next, we've got Stockport versus Leighton Orient and Charlton versus Wickham. Stockport have come straight up from League 2 and finished 3rd straight away. Charlton have finished in 4th, Wickham in 5th and Leighton Orient in 6th. They got in there on last day, Leighton Orient. Now, this has makings are an all-timer. Like the Championship sides, none of them are really going into it on really good form. Vibes quite low, whereas this, apart from Wickham, like you've got 3 sides here, Leighton Orient, Charlton and Stockport, that have just been effectively non-stop winning for months. And I changed my mind on who I think can win this quite a lot. And I will start with Charlton and Wickham first because I think this is possibly the easiest one to call. Wickham have been in top 3 all year. Like, before Bloomfield went to Luton, Wickham were top at league. They were in front of Birmingham at the time, who've spent all this money, but have broken League One and EFL points record. So to be in front of them at the stage that they were very, very impressive. The form since then, Wickham aren't even a playoff side. They're in 8th for the last 25 games. Form in that same amount of time, Charlton are 2nd. But second half of this season, really, Charlton have been second best side in division. And it feels like a bit of a what if for Wickham. Because Bloomfield could have got him over the line, but he went to Luton, who are relegated now anyway. So Wickham are probably going to be in the same division as the bloke next year anyway. And I say that because when you look at Wickham's last 3 games, yes, they're all losses, but it's mainly who the losses are to. And if you don't know, Stockport, who are in 3rd, Leighton Orient, who are in 6th, and Charlton, who are in 4th. The last 3 games, all losses are to the other 3 playoff sides. Wickham have got easily one of the best players in the league. Stood up from Coney, easily. Very, very good striker, that lad. He'll be playing championship football next season, definitely. If not, probably abroad somewhere in the top league. But now Scowen's out for Wickham, injured. Midfielder, a lot of experience, very good little player. One of your big leaders. Partner that way, a major lack of creativity. I do think a lot of blame falls on Dodd's manager, but at the same time, players have got to look at him since they're creating nothing, really. I do not think Wickham will get near him. Honestly, people do not like Jones, but he gets job done. More importantly, he's got loads of experience. He's done it before. He's a good gaffer, especially at this level. Charlton, for me, are very, very heavy favourites for this game. Solid in defence. And I've gone over this one quite quickly because I think it's easiest one to call probably out of all at playoffs, which means I'll probably get it wrong. First leg is at Wickham. I'd probably say 0-0. But then back at Charlton, Valley second leg, I'll go with a 2-0 Charlton win. I think Charlton have got one eye on Archers already. For me, this is the one. This is the one. We've got Charlton at Wembley, and joining them is going to be either Stockport or Leighton Orient. I think this is my favourite fixture out of all at playoffs together. Like we said, Stockport have come up from League 2 and finished straight in 3rd place. Behind Wrexham, we've done the exact same thing. Stockport and Wrexham, similar in some regards, like spending a lot of money but in different areas. Stockport have... The recruitment side of things for Stockport is perfect, honestly. They're spending very, very little on fees, but the wages are very competitive at top end of this division, which has got to be. If you want to get promoted, you've got to spend money. But I don't think it's an hard league to get out of, and Stockport is showing that straight away. Leighton Orient, like we said, they got into playoffs on last day. They've won 6 in a row to get in front of Reading, but Stockport are no mugs. They've won 7 out of the last 8 games. Neither of these are used to losing in the last couple months. And I think this is probably the hardest one to call out to all leagues. Leighton Orient have got 2 players that massively stand out for them, which is Callum and Donnelly. 2 lads that have both got on loan from QPR and Tottenham. Statistically and in person, they are 2 of the best players I've seen in this division. I've been to both these grounds home and away this season, and Leighton Orient's players, personnel, impressed me more, but Stockport as a team were much better drilled. They're quite a simple side, tactically, Stockport, I think. Ball over the top to a fast lad, simple as. But they're very good in middle, a lot of experience with Norwood, and Lewis Bate, who's got a lot of games under his belt for age that he is. And a manager that has been and done it 3 times already with Stockport. Challinor, he took over in National League North, promoted through National League, promoted from League 2, straight to 3rd in League 1. He's got experience of doing it, but he's also got experience and knows what it's like to lose in playoffs. I genuinely think that this just comes down to if Stockport can lock up Callum and Donnelly. Defensively, I think Leighton Orient can definitely be got a lot easier than Stockport can. And I think Stockport will score fairly easily because of it. Like a lot of Leighton Orient fans are telling me that he's gonna change his tactics a little bit more. He's been a lot more open, trying to get goals and trying to go for wins. More recently, Richie Wellens, because they've been chasing playoffs. But defensively, they can be quite solid. I don't know if I'm seeing something completely different, but I think Leighton Orient are fairly poor at back. I cannot write Leighton Orient off when they've got Golden Boot winners stood up front. A championship level striker with ease stood up front. I'm very confident Stockport don't lose at home. Even though Leighton Orient have won 4 in a row away from home, this is like unstoppable force versus immovable object. And I think they'll both win their own leg. I'm changing my mind. I had an idea of what I was going to say before I come in, but I've just changed my mind. I think Stockport will win on penalties. I think the experience that Stockport have got from dugout and pitch could tip them over edge. So I think this will be a very close game. I think these will be 2 best games probably, and I think this is the best tie out of all playoffs. But I've got Stockport meeting Charlton at Wembley in League 1. And to join them from League 2 is either Warsaw or Chesterfield, and then Wimbledon or Knox County. Warsaw, Chesterfield first. It's very easy to just go straight for jugular with Warsaw and talk about massive bottle job that they've done. Which is true. Like, it's shocking. It's one of the biggest ball jobs I've ever seen in my life. But I don't think that game is as done as people probably think it is. Walsall are shite. I completely agree. But they did win the last game. when pressure were on big time against an half-decent side at home to Crew. I know the form recently ain't as good, but they had a massive fall-off and all, to be fair, second half of the season. They did win the last game, Warsaw. It could give them a little bit of a spark. It could give them a little bit of something. Part of that, right, since 18th of January, which is when, roughly the time that Nathan Lowe got recalled and Warsaw just fell off a cliff. Warsaw have won 3 times, including last game. They've only won 3 times since 18th of January. One of them is at home to Chesterfield. They won 3-1. It's the biggest win since Nathan Lowe went recalled. They are crap. Warsaw are crap. I completely agree. But I don't think Chesterfield are actually that good, despite a late playoff push and like really good form recently. They've lost once since beginning of March, and it was 4-0 to Tranmere. Like, obviously a blip. But what they have got, though, and what separates Warsaw and Chesterfield, I think, is experience. And a lot of it. And I think that goes a long way. Honestly, I don't think you can underestimate experience and the been there and done it aspect, especially when you're going into playoffs and there's a lot of pressure and it's one-off games and one thing can change everything. It can change your season like that. McFadzean in defence, John Fleck in midfield, Will Grigg up front. The core, the spine of Chesterfield's team has got about 2,000 games played and 10 promotions between them easily. Walsall have got nothing like that at all. I stand by that Chesterfield, I honestly don't think are actually that good. But defensively, they've been quite solid. Apart from 2 games where they had massive blips, they conceded 3 to Bradford and 4 to Tranmere. Other than that, defensively, they have been quite good for the last few weeks, if not months. And if any of these 2 teams, Walsall and Chesterfield, have got it in them to grind out a result like you need to do sometimes in playoffs, you don't have to play pretty, you've just got to win. I think Chesterfield are the ones that could do it. I think they'll win 2-1 at home, Chesterfield, and draw 1-1 away, which means that Chesterfield will go to Wembley for me, beating Warsaw. Now, for Wimbledon and Knox County, this is a very strange set of playoff teams again, you know. Again, not one of these sides is coming in on really good form. Chesterfield have got best of a bad bunch, but it's still not really that good. Only League One has got any sort of good vibes going on. Everybody else is coming in on crap form. Knox County have got 1 win in 6 games. Wimbledon have won twice in 9. But both of these have got goals in them, more importantly. Stevens, where is he? He's up front. He's got 17 goals for Wimbledon this season, but he's not scored in 8 games. And the much more obvious is that McGoldrick is the 4th top goal scorer in division and Jatta is 2nd. They have got 36 goals between them. I think both sets of these fixtures are going to be quite edgy. I don't think there's going to be loads of quality. And because of that, I want you to understand what I'm about to say. I think Knox County win by 1 goal. Right? I don't know what the scores will be, and to be honest, I'm just going to make that up, but I think it'll be Knox County winning by 1 goal, because there's not loads separating these teams. There's 1 point separating them in league. There's 2 goal difference. They're both on crap form. County are crap at back. But going forward, Wimbledon don't offer a great deal, apart from Stevens, who's been quiet for a few weeks. I think playoffs are made for big game players, for mavericks, for people who just sort of do what they want and want to be remembered more than anything else. And I think Knox County have got a bloke there who fits that bill perfectly. I think we all know what I'm on about. And I don't think he should be playing in this league. But as a Knox County fan, I think McGoldrick will get winner. Whatever it scores at, I'll go 0-0 and then 1-0 in Knox County. And I think it'll be a McGoldrick goal, which sends Knox County to Wembley to play Chesterfield. That is what I've got. Which would mean that my playoff finals are Sheffield United versus Coventry, Stockport versus Charlton, and Knox County versus Chesterfield. And we'll start with Championship first, because I think this will be a great game. And a very, very tough one to call. I don't remember loads of playoff finals recently, in more recent years, where a team's just run riot. They're always quite nervy, edgy games, aren't they? And I worry for Sheffield United mentally if they get there. And mainly Wilder. He's a Sheffield United fan, Wilder, and he's a good manager for Sheffield United. Not so much anywhere else with other jobs that he's had in the last couple of years. But he's going to know the history of Sheffield United and the history of them in playoffs. They've been in it 8 times. They've lost every single time. I don't think there's a lot to go against with Sheffield United here. I think that they should and probably are the big favourites going into this in Championship. Despite history, I do make them the favourites. But this is honestly flipper a coin, because both of these are very good sides. They both offer a lot from all over pitch. Neither of these sides have got like a Sargent or a Borja Sands or a Windass or a Josh Madger. You know, one player that gets all your team's goals, like a focal point, someone that you can mark out at game. Both of these 2 sides have got goals from all over pitch. And I think it'd be nailed on, right, where both these sides are much more focused on not conceding rather than scoring. I think it'll probably be 0-0, go to penalties. And I'm about to change my mind again. Same as Leighton Orient. I had an idea coming into this of what I was going to say. And more I speak about it and more that I think about it, I am going to change my mind right now. I come into this thinking that Sheffield United are the ones that are going to go up. But I think Coventry are probably the ones to win on penalties if it goes to it. If it does get to that, if I got all this right and it ends up in penalties with Sheffield United and Coventry, I think the weight and the pressure for Sheffield United would be much more than it would for Coventry. Personally, I think it'd be too much for them, and I think it'd probably be the most Sheffield United way possible to lose on penalties at Wembley. I have got Coventry as my playoff winners, joining Burnley and Leeds in Premier League, and then joining Burnley and Leeds back in Championship in a year's time. League Ones, I've got Stockport and Charlton. Again, I've changed my mind on this. Like I said, I'm going to say Leighton Orient when I press record earlier. I think it'll be another low-scoring game, to be honest. Probably the same where they don't want to concede and they don't want to push too far up in case you get caught on break. But if that is how this game's set up as well, with Stockport and Charlton, there's only one winner for me here. Jones and Callum are very good managers. Two at best in the division easily. But again, if this is how it goes, we get to Wembley and this is game, both teams are going to take it in turns, dominating ball. There'll probably be about 5 shots all game. I think it'll always be scrappy as out. Stockport are going to soak up loads of pressure. Norwood's going to get ball, ping it 60 yards to Alafe, who's going to run through on goal. Absolutely rapid striker, physical, very strong, knows what he wants to do, is a decent finisher, and I think Stockport will win 1-0. That's exactly how I see it going. Similar to Coventry, I think Stockport can strip it back to basics quite well and understand football for what it is and not take mick weight too much, not try and have some deep understanding of what football can be. If you've got a fast player on a big pitch at Wembley, get it over the top to him and he's going to get through and score. So my 3 promoted teams from League One this year, one that's been relegated from Championship and spent 30 million quid and brought points record. And then 2 that's come straight through League 2 and get promoted straight away. So I've got Coventry and Stockport going up first. League 2, Knox County Chesterfield. Like I said earlier, playoffs I think are made for a certain calibre of player. Zamora, Vazte, Windass, and McGoldrick. I'm telling you, I think this is written in stars. Drag your side over line. His team supports him. I think he'll score an absolute rocket. And it'll be 1-0 Knox County to get promoted. Honestly, that's where I see it happening. Which would mean my 3 playoff winning teams are Coventry from Championship, Stockport from League 1, and Knox County from League 2. That is how I see this going. Absolute pleasure, boys. Kiss. Love you all. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe if you do enjoy, please. It helps me out a lot. And I will see you for the first playoff game on Thursday, which is Bristol City versus Sheffield United. I hope I'm wrong. I want Bristol City to go up, but I don't think they will. Thank you as always, boys and girls. See you in a bit.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.